on Facebook, Postcards from Maine. The Postcards Facebook page. If you're so connected, you can schedule that. Okay, we're live. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's Jenny Van West coming to you live from the Postcard Studio. And I'm super excited. Today is President's Day. It's Monday, February 20th. And we're going to start out with our banner. And this is going to be an audio only show. We're so excited because three things. This is only the second live broadcast from the new Postcard Studio, and I have not only an in-studio audience today, but I am sitting with my dear friend and colleague, TITI De Baccarat, artist, activist, and most recently the one spearheading a very important art and social change effort called the Kneeling Art Photography Project. And we're going to be talking about stuff, things, art, life, and all that. Probably a little bit in French, too. When you're down and you're blue and you don't know what to do, just write a postcard. When you're feeling fine and there's something on your mind, just write a postcard. Don't you know Grandma loves this show? She listens every time from North Moldovia. You don't need a reason, you don't need a rhyme to write a postcard to 224 Anderson Street. Just write a postcard. Here to Portland, Maine, just write a postcard. 04101. 'Cause Grandma loves this show. Well, welcome to Postcards, everybody. If you're wondering why I don't have a video, it's because we're under promising and over delivering here on Postcards. And our new Wi-Fi is a little bit slow. So what I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to say this once during the show, consider becoming a patron of Jenny Van West Music, which helps to pay for postcards and studio space and other cool things that are going on here at the studio we'll talk about later. Patreon's up on the screen right now. Please consider becoming a patron. And so the next thing I want to talk about is we have a very special guest in the studio this morning, and that is TITI De Baccarat, artist, activist, and I would say like the founder of the Kneeling Art Photography Project in cahoots with a whole lot of wonderful artists. So good morning, TITI.
Good morning, Jenny. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy and enthusiastic to be present today with you.
Yeah, thank you, TITI. I'm like, I know we've known each other for a little while.
Oh yes.
And from the beginning, when we first met, it became clear that you were someone who brought your culture with you. You talked about how it surrounded you as you walked through the world, and I'm just so excited to see all the things that you've done and are doing. And so I thought maybe we could start with a little bit about how you how you knew you were an artist, and what was the first piece of art that you were really proud of, or that really touched or moved you when you created it.
Yeah, I have beautiful memories when I was very, very young, maybe between 6 or 7 years old. I remember I'm from a family of 6, and my mother used to dress us the same, okay, like same pants, same t-shirts, okay, same color, same fabrics with my brothers. And really, I didn't like it. The reason why she did that, because she just to avoid there's the kind of imagine you are a family of 6, and there's a blue t-shirt, yellow t-shirt, and all of your brothers, you included, want the yellow one. Okay, so it became like very difficult. Okay?
Like really competitive.
And then she just decide now we just buy the same color, the same fabric, to avoid the fighting between us. But in that time, I was not very excited to be dressed like my brothers, like a football team. So I start to develop at an early age a way for me to be different. So
yeah.
I use to take off the sleeve of my sweatshirt or to just draw or put a sign of my t-shirt. And guess what? I was always punished. I was in that age already creative and imaginative, but I didn't know that this is art. Exactly. And also when I became a teenager, most of my friends used to say the same things about me. Titi, you were a type of crazy person. Just because the way I was describing the world around me, the way I was moving, my haircut, okay, it was so different, okay? And so I was always just developing my authenticity, my originality, okay? And yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I was very, very, very young when I just noticed that I was different without to know that this is art.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your first artistic endeavors were fashion.
No, because for me, art in that time, even if I didn't notice it's art, the process was more important than what I could make, what I could build or transform. It was the feelings, okay, the way for me to see the world inside me had a huge connection about my inner world, and that was so amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, and everything I do will express that, but the origin was inside me.
Yeah.
Inside me, a need to express myself, a need to be different, a need to just say this is who I am. Okay, yeah, it was something. So for me, art is not what we could create, what we could make visible.
Yeah.
Art is something inside us. It's like when you get a dream during the night, you don't know where those dreams come from and why you got those dreams.
Yeah.
Okay, you get an idea. Who put those ideas in your heart? Who put those ideas, this passion in your life? And for what? See? So art
And
is
for
something very important. It's not just the visible part. There is something greater, more bigger than what we could see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. We're talking with TITI DE BACCARAT, artist and activist based here in Portland, Maine. And here in the Postcards studio. Yes, we are audio only this morning. I want to say hello to a couple people. Judith Zwyman, good morning, down in Jackson Heights, Queens, New York City.
Oh, wow.
Sending you a
New
big
York
shout
City.
out. And talking to, we got Diggy Cat checking in from Santa Clarita, California. Good morning, everybody. It's really nice to have you here with us. We're doing a audio only interview here with TITI DE BACCARAT, longtime friend and colleague here in Portland, and someone I can say honestly, deeply has impacted me personally in terms of how I view art, life, etc. And it's an ongoing conversation. So glad to have you here. We're also here with our first ever in studio audience. This is a very big deal for me because it was my dream from the beginning to do this, and so. I just want to say a quick welcome to Aaron Seglin, who's my co-teacher here at the studio, brother Jason, sister-in-law Aaron, and of course the very wonderful Mickey Collins. Great to have you all here. Okay, and that's enough for the introverts probably, so let's keep going. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit to life in Maine. I know you're originally from Gabon, and you've made a life and a home here in the United States. And maybe I'd love to just touch briefly on, I know it's a big topic, but touch briefly on how your art has developed since you've been living here in Portland.
Oh, good questions. You know, I noticed something very important. There is a huge and amazing possibility to make art in America. And the first thing is the way American people express their freedom. Where I come from, we don't have too much freedom. And when I first came into the United States, okay, I was in New York for 2 weeks. And for the first time of all my life, okay, I saw people with tattoo, with the way they dress, the haircut, the building, the light, the design everywhere. It was a shock. It was something powerful for me as an artist.
Yeah.
I say, wow, have the proof that yes, we could express our originality. We could be different. It's okay to be different. It's okay to listen to different type of music, to like the different type of fashion, to be just different. That was amazing. And then the second thing that really impacts my work or life as an artist is all of the tools and technology that we have in America. Okay, so I learned how to use power tools, a lot of machines, how to program my work and to be assisted by technology that make my art more faster and more precise. That's so amazing. In Africa, it's a big struggle to make something complex because we don't have all of the tools. Right. Okay, some places we don't have electricity, so it's very difficult. I think America is really a great nation for artistic development and the expression of what we could be as a human being. That's so amazing. So those two factors are the major thing that influenced me as an artist.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful.
Oh, boy. Okay, awesome. If you're just joining us, this is Jenny Van West. I'm here in Portland, Maine, having a conversation with artist and activist TITI De Baccarat. We're super excited to be here, having in-studio audience and talking about art and how I want to now we're starting to talk about community, because you're talking about freedom of expression and noticing how others express themselves and the opportunities that exist. And if it's okay, I actually want to bring up something that you said to me a very long time ago, which has really personally impacted me in a positive way. Okay. And here's roughly what you said to me. You said, Jenny, if somebody who has an opportunity to do something, artistic or in business or anything, has an opportunity and then does not take it, that says something to the person with no opportunity. It's almost an insult to the person with no opportunity. And what I take from that, and so that I can express sort of where I'm coming from about this and converse about that, is that to have the opportunity in a community to make art and interact with others is a big responsibility.
Yes.
Okay, that was a very long-winded way of saying, tell me about your viewpoint about art in community and how you see yourself in the community as an artist.
For me, being an artist means also be able to meet people. Right. Okay, so that means when you talk about community art, it means you need to be oriented to the people needs. That's so important. And the first art, before to use tools or materials, the first art is the art of making connection, is the art to making friends, is the art to making collaborations. Yeah. Okay? Because for any type of community art, you are going to need people. You are going to need the involvement of people. The involvement of people in the community. That's so important. And I knew that. So for me, I was focused, and I still focus, to make friends first. I'm using art to build friendship. I'm using art to building connection, deep connection with artwork. Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the first thing.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's TITI De Baccarat sitting here with me here in the Postcard Studio 2.0. Super excited to be here with everybody. I know it's a little bit different. Oh, and you have a shout out from California saying, TITI is so insightful. Loving this interview so much. Yes, Tiggy, I agree.
Please invite me in California.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. So at this point in the show, we're coming up on 11:15. I would love to take a little break and just sing a song for you all, just to kind of like pause and let's do a little song here. This is just part of the show, and then we're going to be back talking with TITI De Baccarat more about the Kneeling Art Photography Project. We've been having a great time talking about artistic adventures that bring you places, and places that bring you to musical and artistic adventures. All right, so this one I wrote about my home state, and it's important to sing it today for me because it's President's Day, which is when we're maybe reflecting back on the beginnings, and I love the conversation that we've been having about freedom of speech. So this is about doing what we can to make a change. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. And why's that mama crying? Her baby didn't make it home tonight. I'm tired of the dying, just want everybody to be alright. Whoa. Cause we got some debts to pay. Yeah, I do believe it's time. Well, some of us are angry and some of us don't know what to do. And some of us are weary and some of us just want to be through. If we can just let go of the hate, might not feel the need to dominate. If we can just admit we've been wrong, we might have a chance of getting along. Gotta live in a new way, because we got some debts to pay. Yeah, I do believe it's time. Whoa. Walk alone, yeah, I do believe it's time. Just let go of the hate. Might not feel the need to dominate. If we could just admit we've been wrong, we might have a chance of getting along. Gotta live in a new way, cause we got some debts to pay. Yeah, I do believe it's time. Whoa. Alone, yeah, I do believe it's time. Whoa, gotta live in a new way. Jenny Van West coming to you live. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, it's amazing to have people clapping in here. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness, Jenny Van West coming to you live from the Postcard studio. Super excited to be here with artist and activist TITI De Baccarat, longtime colleague and friend of mine that just so excited to reconnect with.
Yeah, you know, I'm always amazing how you are able to translate deep emotion through your guitar and voices. That's something unique that you have.
Oh, wow. Thank
amazing.
You. Thank you very much. Thanks for saying so. If you're just joining us for the first time, we are doing an audio-only show today from our new studio, and we're super excited to have in-studio audience today. My co-teacher, Aaron Seglin, is here with his family. It's really wonderful to have you guys here in the studio. Shout out to the audience. let's move into talking about Kneeling Art Photography Project, which you started with in collaboration with other artists. Maybe you could talk a little bit about where and how and when you conceived of the idea of doing this.
Okay, so I got the idea in 2020, okay, few weeks after the murder of George Floyd. And it was very important for me to do something for the community and to bring the conversation, okay, about social justice, because it's so important. And I was really interested about the gesture, taking a knee, because way back in 2015, I saw a man taking a knee, okay, for proposal, okay, and it was so beautiful and romantic. So in that time, I asked myself, why in America we do take a knee to propose? Because where I'm from is so different, okay? We have, like in my country, we have something called like a knock in the door, okay? This is the way we do proposal, okay, in my ethnic group. So in America, it was so different. I asked my question, but I didn't have a way to get an answer. And so in 2020, just after the murder of George Floyd, when I saw for the first time that tragic videos, okay, I was just surprised that, oh, wow. But this police officer used a knee on the neck. And it was like a revolution in my mind. Okay, how could we use a strong symbol that in American culture we used for proposal, for love? How could you use the same symbol to take the life of somebody else? So it became an important question for me. How taking a knee for love, taking a knee to kill, and taking a knee to protest could coexist. And I said, okay, that's so interesting. I need to do a community project and just ask people what does it mean for each of them to take a knee. And then you just start. Yeah. So it was amazing.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, because I'd never had a chance to ask you that question.
Okay.
Right? I could make all kinds of assumptions about how that all came together, because the symbol has because for a lot of us, because of Colin Kaepernick taking a knee during the NFL, which was a major risk, major risk. So I'm gonna focus on that word risk.
Okay.
For a second.
Yes.
I think I'm just going to say that I think there are a lot of people in the United States who have lived in the United States their entire lives who don't feel like they can really fully express themselves in the way that is provided by the law. But one of the things that I love about this project, which if you're not familiar with it, Kneeling Art Photography Project, go on over to Instagram, take a look. There's also Kneeling Art Photography Project website. I'm just gonna toss that in here and consider a donation to them. So the thing that I'm getting at is, see, my questions sometimes are very long.
Oh, no problem. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, my brain goes in like 6 directions. So did you feel that in putting together exhibitions of photographs of people taking a knee in the direction of social and particularly racial justice, did you feel as a person that you were ever at risk being so open and outspoken about social justice?
Yeah, if not, TITI De Baccarat project is a community project. So you benefit from people protection. You feel confident because of the people that believe in this project,
right.
The people that take part of this project gave me the anointing, the strength to lead the project. So I could not. I'm not from the country. How can I take a risk? No. Absolutely not. But because of the people, when people start to express the interest about the project, businesses, non-profits, people in the communities, photographers believe in this project. I say, wow, That's good. So if something happen, they have my back.
Yeah.
That's so important. So it's the community project. Is our project. It's not my project. It's our project. All of us.
Yeah.
That make me feel, yes, I can do it.
Yeah.
Yes. So people energy feed me, feed my belief to do the project.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're talking with TITI De Baccarat, whose most recent efforts include the Kneeling Art Photography Project. You can find it at the Kneeling Art Photography Project. Oh, sorry, the kneelingartphotography.com. You can also just do a quick Google search, Kneeling Art Photography, and you will find all the links and so forth that you might need to get more information. So it's coming up on 11:30 when we're going to be doing we've got some mail to read today. So tell me about you've done there are photographers involved, there are writers involved. What other kinds of people are on this team for your project?
A lot. You know, the first project that make me to be outside my comfort zone because I speak French. I did never study in America, so I don't know how to write.
Right.
In English. So how could I say, okay, we'll make a book in English? Is it right? Yeah, but so I know how to surround myself with a great team. So I have a publisher, I have people who used to work in the book industry for many years. I have volunteers. We just brought their skills to support the project, give their times, their knowledge. So I have a bunch of people around me.
Yeah.
Okay, and I want to take the opportunity to say thank you to all of them.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for each of you guys for the amazing work that you are doing. Even if people can't see your face, know your names, but you know that you are doing great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Jenny Van West here in the Postcard studio. Super excited to be talking with TITI De Baccarat, artist and activist here in Portland, Maine. And yeah, you're getting some high fives from around the place. Nice to see comments coming in from New York and California.
Wow.
Deep insight, mind blown. There you go. So I guess one more question before we read the mail, and that is talking about these different people and partners. You said there's businesses and nonprofits.
Yeah.
What were maybe a couple? I know I know you don't want to. Every little bit of help in a project like this is so important.
Yes.
But what was the first business or nonprofit organization to really understand what you were trying to do that came forward and said, okay, we're going to make this happen?
Yeah. We have a Creative Portland, we have a little print and share, we have the Francis Hotel, we have the University of Maine, Orono, we have Colby College, we have Portland Media Center. We have a lot who just express the needs to support my project.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, so we're gonna take a moment, TT. I'm gonna read the mail, say hello and hey howdy to everybody who's listening in today or listening after. We're so glad you're here. We're doing our first audio only broadcast from the new and improved the new Postcard studio, and I'm behind on reading the mail. So TT, you've never been on my show before, so I'm just going to tell you that I started the show during the pandemic, and what we were doing was people were sending postcards in, and I was reading them on the show.
All over America.
Yeah, people would writing in from. Let's see, I've gotten postcards from all over Maine.
Amazing.
A bunch of people in California, Pacific Northwest. We've had postcards come in from Austin, Texas.
Amazing.
And I might even have a little something here from Anchorage, Alaska.
Ooh.
Okay, so first things first, we're gonna catch up on the. We've got I know exactly who this is from. 3705 Arctic, number 15, Anchorage, Alaska. That's our pal. And
tell them you've got their eagle.
And Aaron says, hey, Alaska, we've got your eagle. So Ken Waldman, this is a longtime friend of mine who I met out in the West Coast. He says, hey there, Jenny. Here's an update from about a month ago in Asheville. Plus a new poem for the uncertain season. Oh, and a postcard too. I trust all's well with you, Jeff and the boys. Ken. All right, here we go. Let's read. Oh, we got a postcard of some kids in a rowboat. It looks like circa 1965. Camp Topawingo in Harrison, Maine. Actually, Route 93 in Sweden, Maine, in the foothills of New Hampshire's White Mountains. It's an old postcard. And then I'm going to read a poem here by Ken Waldman that he sent to us. How We Scatter, in memory of Warren Argo. A life may begin in Fresno, Seattle, maybe Philadelphia. Swinging to Spokane, Juneau, perhaps Port Townsend. We attend schools, graduate, take jobs, quit them, move again. We get married or don't. We have children or not. We make friends. Friends, the existential as we hug hello, exchange smiles or tears, waltz ourselves across continent, feet barely touching floor. How we scatter as the years have our way. I'm going to pause that. I'm going to pause that poem right there. Thank you, Ken Waldman, for sending poems. Let's see. So moving right along here on postcards, we do have a postcard from Diggy Cat. Let's take a look here. And it is a picture of mine host, S.C. Adams, selecting prime steer steaks. Always an interesting time with you and the postcards, Diggy. Happy holidays. May your freezers always be packed with mooses. Or is it meese? Have a productive, fun, musical 2023. Thanks, man. That's awesome. And then we got a postcard here from Jackknife Stiletto down in New York City. Nice to see a postcard from y'all. It was a holiday postcard. Really appreciate that. You girls are awesome. Jackknife Stiletto. Okay, and that is the mail for today. You're welcome to Postcards. We're having a great time here in the Postcard Studio with our first ever in-studio audience. Aaron, Jason, Aaron, and Mickey. So glad to have you here. And we're talking with our mutual friend and artist activist, TITI De Baccarat, talking about projects, stuff, and things. TITI, glad to have you.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. So I want to talk a little bit more about where this project is going now. There are several parts and cycles to this project, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you could tell us a little bit about what you've done already and what's coming up, and then what you see as the future. Yes, big questions.
Yeah. So in 2021, okay, we just spent time to do a kind of exhibition in different cities of Maine, and also do roundtables to have a conversation, okay, with the communities. That was so amazing, good feedback, and that's so great. So now we want to do something exceptional, because one of my question is why, as a human being, when it's about social justice, why is it like that when we make like 2 steps forward and then we make 3 steps backward? That
Yeah.
Imagine the energy. Do you remember the energy, 2020 energy?
Yeah.
How people on the streets, black, white, people from all over United States, together, say we want change. We want to live together. Okay? It was so amazing. The intensity, the intention. People came together as one. It was so amazing. People show solidarity alongside with minority. That was so amazing. You could see posters on most of the buildings in Portland and in other cities. But 2 years later, we're still in the fight. Should we wait for the next guy to be killed in order to continue the fight? No. So I was thinking, how could we continue the project to bring the conversation? Because when we talk about social justice, it should not be something that we just do one time and then that's all. No. It should be continuous, something that we should do until forever, until we will build a real society where each and everyone feel respected, valued, and safe. So the fight is not over yet. So how can I just continue the project? We already done photographic exhibition on tables. Okay? So I say, oh, why not work on the book? Because the book has this advantage that people could get it, we could mail it, we could send it, not only in Portland, not only in Maine. You know, we could send the book in California. We could send the book in New York. So the book is more flexible. The book could extend our voices. And my dream is to prove this book to people, start a conversation wherever they are. It could be in Alaska, it could be in Boston, but to start the conversation. So the book is going to be a didactic, a tool to inspire conversation and change. So now we are working extremely very hard. When I start this ambitions part of the book, I didn't value how heavy it could be. Oh my God.
Let's talk about
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult to put the thought, to put the emotion, and it's not just my thought, it's people talk, because each person we photograph 2 years ago, we asked them to answer a series of questions. Okay? What does it mean to take a knee? Can you share with us something about your life where you were a victim of injustice or witnessed injustice? How do you think taking a knee could inspire others? What type of change do you want to see happen in the state of Maine? So it's so important. And we interviewed a lot of people. After I interviewed them, we need to transcribe those interviews.
Right.
And then, wow, it's a lot. And doing this type of project without to have financial resources is very difficult. It's so tough. But the chance that I have, people trust the project. People trust me and give their time for free. And say, oh, we are going because we think what we are doing is so meaningful and we need this type of work in our state. So we still work a lot, work, back and forth. We ask, well, and also there is a legal part because you could not use people photos, people statement without to have the agreement, okay? So you need to make them sign some release form for your own safety, you know. So it's a lot. And also funding a publisher, funding the money to pay the publisher, funding people to design the book cover, funding people to do the layout.
Layout.
Yep. Thank you. Layout of the book, and funding the distribution, because we not just keep those books at home. We need to distribute them. So we start to connect with a lot of schools and organizations. That's so great. We already got 6 yes. Like King Middle School say yes for a workshop. They want us to bring the book and do a workshop about yes. And I will explain it a little bit about the content of the workshop based on the book. And Men Inside Out say yes.
Oh, Maine Inside Out.
Community Organizing Alliance in Lewiston say yes. We have a lot of organizations who say yes, we want to work with you. And the workshop will consist to each time to select one photographer who took part of the project and 2 people that we photograph, and then we will bring them in schools or in the organization so they could share their experience on social justice, to try to inspire.
Yeah.
And then we already start to think about our next step in 2024. From those workshops, we will try to collect information from the participants in order to make our next book, the graphic novel. So we will ask the question to know, like, if you were a superhero, what type of superpower do you think you may need in order to make change, to improve life in your community? Yeah. We want to empower each and everyone. And this graphic novel, it will help us to start the conversation with kids who are between maybe 5 or 6 years old and 12 years old, because it's important, because they are the next generation. They are the future leaders. So what type of world are we going to give them? It's important to prepare them to the type of challenge that they are going to face in the future. So we are thinking far. It's a huge project.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of part 1, part 2, part 3, and yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very, very long, difficult, excited project.
Yes.
Exactly. So we are working a lot, and I want to take this opportunity to invite each everyone who think he may give his time, his expertise, his knowledge, his energy to support this project. It's very important.
Yeah. And to that end, I just want to jump on there and say you can go over to the kneelingartphotography.com and consider donating to the project to help things as they go on. Now, you, this Jenny Van West here in the Postcard studio. I'm super excited to be here talking with artist and activist TITI De Baccarat. We've been friends and colleagues for a long time, and periodically have the opportunity to sit down and catch up with each other, which is hard these days.
Yes.
Because we're both you're all over the place. You're always doing things. You've got a lot of irons in the fire, and we're covering a couple of those today. I just wanted to say we've got a hello from the Heartland, Diana Griffin-Ennis. Nice to have you here, coming in from Kansas City. Good to see your name pop up in my comments this morning, and so as you. I want to touch on, we talked a little bit about your background as an artist, how, some of, if you rewind here, folks, if you're just joining us, if you rewind later, some thoughts about getting started as an artist and then moving into, the Kneeling Art Photography Project, which is one of TT's projects right now, the biggest one I think that's going on at the moment. What I want to ask you about is, as an artist, as a visual artist, sculptor, thinker, philosopher, but especially as a visual artist, how has this community project changed or impacted your own artistic creations or vision?
Yeah, like the first thing, I learned photography, how to use a camera, just because of this project. Okay?
Yeah.
Say, how can I lead the photography project and not be able myself to take photos? Okay, so I learn how to use a camera. That's so amazing. I get the training. That's something beneficial for myself as an artist. But also, the way to see people from different background and community, okay, taking part of this project. People from asylum seekers community, white community, business owner community, LGBT communities, Black American communities, taking part of this project, that impacts the way I'm seeing art. That bring me to believe in collaboration. So now, as an artist, I think I will be more focused on collaboration instead to work for myself. Because when I first arrived in Maine, for those who follow me since the beginning, I took 3 years only making the type of art that is related with my culture, my country. But it was important to introduce myself in the new society that welcomed me. But now that I'm part of the community, I live in America, it's important to bring my contribution to improve life, okay, in my neighborhood, in my city, in the state where I live. That's so important. So, seeing those folks working with me, bringing the energy, bringing the love, bringing the skills, really make me, and the way what I receive from them, from our interaction, I just grew up. And I discovered something, working with people with different background experiences bring something special in your own life, in your own practice. Because I learn from them, from each of them. Okay? They challenge me with their point of view. Sometimes they taught me a better way to do something, or they suggest me a powerful idea that I didn't know before, and I just add. Each of them adds something special. So now it's always important for me to work with people. Yeah, it's amazing.
Wow.
Working with people, make me just become more confident, more, I don't want to say powerful, but great. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Amazing. We're talking with TITI De Baccarat, artist and activist based here in Portland, Maine. Most recent efforts in the last few years have included the Kneeling Art Photography Project. You can find out more about that just by Googling Kneeling Art Photography Project and look at their website, kneelingartphotography.com. There's a place to give donations if you're so inclined. And, we're going to take a momentary pause. We're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up. TT will be right back with you. I'm going to play another song and talk a little bit about what's coming up. So thank you so much for being here. Live from the Postcards studio. Let me tell you, it never ceases to amaze me how I can sit down on a mic with folks and hang out and do this, be they here from a distance or be they sitting right next to me, which is my new privilege in the new studio. I have space to have not only live guests in studio, woohoo, but live studio audience today. I'm just giving a shout out. Let's have a big round of applause for live in studio.
Yes!
This is like a special kind of energy this morning. I'm telling you, it's amazing.
I like the vibe.
So we're going to play a little song and then we'll be right back to talk with TT a little bit. But before we play a song, I want to talk a little bit about what's coming up. We're going to be audio only for a while. You can join our Patreon and help us move in the direction of having faster internet so that we can go back to doing video. Patreon.com/Jenny Van West. You can join there. And it's just a nice way to be able to include you in the efforts. And I'm going to play on 5 strings because I bet Aaron can hear what's going on here. Got a string that's out of commission this morning. This is a song that I wrote before the pandemic, and thinking about community and relationships. And after the pandemic hit, I went back to this song and noticed how I'd kind of seen the whole thing coming on from a songwriting perspective. I don't know if you ever have that experience, TT. Sometimes we make art and then we discover that we were seeing something that had not yet happened.
Yeah.
You've had this experience, okay? All right.
Wow, amazing.
Jenny Van West here on Postcards. You said goodbye, there was no rift, just a shutting down and corresponding, drifting to another place and time. There was no rhyme, only a reason. Who knew we'd come so far? Perhaps it's written in the stars, but every time I look, another word is in a book of our lives. You never meant me harm, that much is true, but I never thought it all came down to you. In another place and time, there'll be both rhyme and a reason. But oh, we've come so far, perhaps it's written in the stars. And every time I look, another word is in a book of our lives. And all the way the anchor to another, oh my God. Sometimes the words just go. another shore, another day, another current on the sea, another thanks of what is you and what is me. And all the way she held me through another door, another hallway endlessly, another lock without a key, another sense of what is chained and what is free. Never meant me harm, that much is true, but I never thought it all came down to you. In another place and time, there'll be both rhyme and reason. But freedom is a right given at birth and taken by the gravity of earth. Though the world looks blue and green, nothing is exactly as it seems. And all the way the anchor to another port, another shore, another day, another current on the sea, another sense of what is you and what is me. And all the way she held me through another door, another hallway endlessly, another lock without a key, another sense of what is chained and what is free. Thank you. Oh God, this is great. You all are welcome. You guys are invited back next week. Jenny Van West.
I'm sorry, Jason was just saying that sounds great on 5 strings, and it really does.
Thank you. Well, sometimes you just gotta roll with it, and you end up with something better than you expected. So Jenny Van West coming to you live from the Postcard studio here in East Bayside, Portland, Maine. Super excited to have been talking this morning with artist and activist TITI De Baccarat. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to a couple things that are coming up the next few weeks before we wrap it up with TT. So next week, we're going to be talking to Pi Jacobs, wonderful singer, songwriter, Americana artist based in Los Angeles. We'll be talking to her direct from California here on the show. That will be another audio only show. And then getting ready for South by Southwest. I'll be down there in mid-March, wrapping up the winter season. And so please stay tuned and hang in and enjoy it. I'm so psyched you guys have been joining me this morning. So I'm going to turn back to you, TT, and kind of finish up our conversation, which I feel like just began, right? You've been really generous to spend a whole bunch of time with us this morning and talk about the Kneeling Art Photography Project, your life as an artist living in Maine. And so here's a question that's been on my mind, thinking about coming in here and talking to you, which is, I've always felt that when we sat down to talk about art, you are somebody who sees many possibilities, big visions of how things could come together. And obviously, Kneeling Art Photography Project, I'm so glad that you have found the support in the community and the other people to collaborate with, and the power of collaboration, because that's something I'm also working on. So in terms of possibilities, big question, but curious what you might have to say about this. What are some possibilities you see for the future of artistic collaboration right here in Maine? What do you see that we could be doing in the direction of social change as artists and musicians, that maybe we're not already doing? Something, or what would you like to see more of in terms of people coming together to support social change?
Okay. Last year, I went for the first time in Minneapolis, okay, to visit the site where everything started. And it was a huge and deep experience for me to see every morning people bringing flowers, people sharing coffee, breakfast, people bringing clothes to take care of the community. It was so amazing to see people continue the conversation about social justice, how to improve life. Okay, and that was so amazing. I would love to see people continue the conversation in Maine. I would love to see artists creating like a kind of platforms where musicians, visual artists, producer, any type of artist could bring ideas about how to use art as a tools for social change. That's so important. How can I invite Jenny Van West, okay, to bring her skills as a musician to give strength to what I try to accomplish with my project. We need to have a type of platforms where we could reach each other to lift each other project, because this is the interest for all of us to live in the society where we feel like, yes, we could express ourselves without putting our life in danger. So I would love to see, okay, this type of initiative, platforms where we freely have a conversation, regardless of race, background. That's so important, coming as one people and just making change.
Yeah. Wow, powerfully said. We've been talking with TITI De Baccarat this morning, artist and activist and longtime friend. And part of my philosophical universe, always love having the chance to talk with you, TITI, and
Thank
hear
you
what's
so
going
much.
on. I want to say a big thank you to our in-studio audience today. Let's have another round of applause for in-studio audience. And pardon the
I'm
words.
sorry.
Yeah,
This is my last word, or?
Good. We're just about to close. So so this is
Okay.
this is the moment to say the thing you've been waiting to say.
Okay, thank
Let's
you
do
so
it,
much.
yes.
So thank you first to having me, okay, in your studio space. I really appreciate. I want just to say that the fight for social justice is not over yet. The final answer will depend on people like you who really want to take a stand in order to improve people's life. People who are outraged about the type of hatred that's going on in some of our neighborhoods, workplace, city. Please consider doing something to make change to improve people's life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, TITI De Baccarat. Great to have a chance to be with you this morning here in the studio. And I hope that as things go along, maybe like a few months down the road, when the book's out and you've had a chance to do that, I want to wish you tons of luck with all of that. It's a lot of work to bring a book out, and it's really exciting that this work is going to exist in libraries and home libraries, bookshelves all over the country.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to go out with a postcard song. If there's anybody in this studio who knows this song, feel free to hum along, to sing along, or to snap along as you please. And I want to say a big thank you to everybody who's been listening in this morning. California, Jackson Heights, and Kansas City. We're so happy you've been here, and all you people listening. After the fact, you can rewind and fast forward to your favorite little bits of this broadcast. When you're down and you're blue and you don't know what to do, just write a postcard. When you're feeling fine and there's something on your mind, just write a postcard. Don't you know Grandma loves this show? She listens every time. You don't need a reason, you don't need a rhyme to write a postcard to P.O. Box 1252. Just write a postcard. Oh, ooh, Betty, buy it, just write a postcard to Portland, Maine. 'cause Grandma loves this show. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Woo! 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 Amazing.